It might sound uncomfortable, but a properly built algorithm can actually save a marriage more effectively than many average, licensed human therapists. The health profession follows the same statistical reality, where the quality of care varies wildly from one office to the next. This image shows the algorithmic tracking and bounding boxes used by self-driving cars. These systems often outperform human drivers because they follow a strict protocol every time, free from the bad days or personal distractions that affect human performance. Navigating a relationship crisis requires the same level of absolute, unwavering consistency, a standard that human nature is poorly equipped to provide. Many people enter the psychology field to subconsciously work through their own relational trauma. When a therapist has unresolved wounds around abandonment or control, those issues manifest during the session. They emerge as subtle biases and projections, often leading the therapist to side with a partner whose pain mirrors their own. Vulnerable clients have no way to verify the quality of the help they receive. Behind closed doors, they cannot distinguish evidence-based clinical wisdom from a therapist's personal baggage. Introducing an emotionally burdened human into a relationship dispute adds a volatile variable to an already fragile system. Most couples believe they are fighting about money or chores, but the conflict is actually rooted in a biological panic over a loss of connection. This diagram illustrates the infinity loop, a predictable four-step cycle that governs relationship conflict. One partner acts as the pursuer. When connection feels threatened, their nervous system protests through criticism and blame, attempting to force a response from their partner. The other partner is the withdrawer. They respond to perceived attacks by shutting down and retreating, attempting to keep the peace through silence. This creates a chain reaction. The withdrawer's silence confirms the pursuer's fears, causing them to escalate their criticism, which then forces the withdrawer to retreat further. This cycle is a waltz of mutual pain. It is nearly impossible for either partner to diagnose the pattern while they are actively trapped inside of it. Breaking this cycle requires three conditions: an accurate model of the behavior, absolute consistency, and an external perspective. Couples need a drone perspective, the ability to hover above the emotional storm and observe the dynamic objectively. An AI coach provides this objectivity by executing a clinical protocol without fatigue or countertransference. Countertransference is a psychological term for when a therapist redirects their own personal feelings or trauma onto a client. By removing the emotional distortion of a human mediator, the algorithm acts as a mirror that shows the couple their exact dynamic. Calls for strict regulation of AI coaching are increasing within the mental health profession. While framed as a defense of client ethics, these actions follow a pattern of legacy industries attempting to stall disruptive innovation. This mirrors the historical resistance seen when transportation monopolies fought against the arrival of rideshare apps. However, there is also risk in tech industry arrogance. Venture capitalists often attempt to build mental health tools while discounting the decades of clinical experience required to understand human suffering. The current system faces significant hurdles. Wait lists for counseling stretch for months, hourly rates remain prohibitive, and this traditional gatekeeping model cannot scale to meet the modern mental health crisis. Moving forward requires discarding professional turf wars in favor of partnership between technologists and clinical experts. Healthy relationships depend on the messy, biological art of repair rather than achieving perfect harmony. When couples drop their defensive armor, their biology de-escalates. They find a shared space where both people can acknowledge their vulnerability and mutual pain. The best human therapists provide deep value through their understanding of attachment. However, an algorithm offers a scalable baseline of objective care for the millions currently without access to those specialists. AI's power lies in clearing out subjective noise so two hurting people can find their way back to each other, rather than replacing human intimacy.